so excited to get this book review done. You have no idea, because oh my word. Do you want me to do a formal introduction, or can I just jump straight in with this, because I really can't wait to get into it.
Jump straight in.
Yeah, we're at your disposal.
Okay, well, first let me say a big hello to Allfaaraa and Shawn Clark, two of my favorite people in the whole world, who have just released what I consider to be one of the most critical works of our time. And I'm absolutely honored to be doing the book review interview with them, and to have received my copy from the States, which thank you so much, Al, for sending it to me. And what a beautiful, I open it up in bright pink letters. Be the love, Elf. Thank you. You are my hero. And that is very kind of you.
No, you're one of my heroes. You know, everything you explained, everything you're going through. And let me just say, as the book kind of speaks about, okay, through darkness, okay, we grow light. And let me say, there's a whole lot of darkness coming your way that you've been overcoming. But I will say this, knowing a little bit about you spiritually, okay, and you are a very powerful entity, as you know and both I know, I don't think they know what they're in for, because you are just the type that will not quit. Am I right, or am I right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And, you know, I've had my fallings out with the various powers that are in control of this planet, and menacing and doing horrible things to people, and in previous lives. And I've still got my kind of beef with them. And to be honest with you, I think it's got to the point where, like, no matter how many times they do it to me, they now just keep coming back. So I think they kind of, on one level, I'm sure there must be some kind of recognition of that, because it can't, you know, just haven't been through so much, and I'm still here. And you know what? I'm not going away.
There's no question that you're not going away.
For sure, for sure. But I just wanted to say thank you so much. You know what? This is the first time I've ever been included in the opening of a book, and absolutely honored, like that. I was just speechless when I saw that you'd mentioned my quotation amongst such an incredible line of people, and wonderful words that they had for you. And I have to agree with absolutely everybody, because I must just say that it's a difficult nut to swallow when you wake up to the way the world works, and you realize what some of the darkest things on the planet are being done, and what horrible things are being done to children, and you're trying to reconcile that with your purpose and with existence. And along comes Allfaaraa and basically hands us the answers, but not in a way that you hand it to us. We almost have to work for it. And also, I wanted to say, Shawn, thank you very much. This opening, and I'm going to start with you first, because I know once we get into Elf, it's going to be difficult for you to get a word in edgeways.
Right.
But I just want to say there are opening comments here which I think are extremely significant to start with, because here we go.
You know, I actually wrote that in South Africa.
Did you?
About 90% of it, anyway. It came out in about an hour or two, all at once. Yeah.
Well, I love this part, and I've got this highlighted because to me it's the most significant part of the beginning. Everything that I've learned in my journey as Mel V, doing Freedom Central, and the work that I do, this part is to me so significant. And the reason why, I guess, I realized when I started reading this book that this is the next step for anybody who is waking up and is searching for answers beyond the answers, okay? And I'll read this opening piece here, and I'll discuss it with you guys. It goes, I have made it a point in my journey to not only look far and wide for my answers, as well as within, but also to keep everything on the table as I do so. In other words, reject nothing along the way. I simply kept adding new types of information to my evidence. I also made it a regular practice to occasionally reject everything and see what came back to me, in order to discover what I really knew and what I really couldn't deny. Now, can I just say, you absolutely have to reject everything regularly to purify your own inner filter. And that is the best advice I've ever found at the beginning of any book. So well done for that. Shawn, thank you very much for that one.
Thank you.
So
Hey, it's nice to hear your voice read it.
As a matter of fact, we're doing shows now about the book for the people that bought it that can actually, because even though it's written so simply, okay, it's enormous, and your ego, your mind reads right over it. But last night, we're on the third show about the book, as we're actually teaching the book, and that's exactly what I brought up, was it not, Shawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where what Shawn says, you actually have to forget everything and see what comes back, okay? That's the exact same thing I said yesterday on the radio show. And is it coincidence that you say the same thing? Or is it that you really understand? And I think it's because you really understand.
Yes.
But that is such a big statement.
Yes, it's huge and wonderfully significant to have it so far at the beginning of the book, because I think just as a basic general lesson for people, no matter where they are in their understanding, they always have to reject everything. And I've recently had a friend, this friend I've told you, who's come over to visit, and I've been recommending your book to everyone. I must just say, not just anyone, but Kevin Annett and Carol Annett were staying over here, and before I even got a chance to read it, I handed it to her. Like, I had gotten into it 5 pages. I handed it to her because she was having a difficult time dealing with some of the information that we were processing. You can imagine. I'm sure you've seen that interview that we put out, but it just was a case of, okay, well, understand why this darkness is here. Now I handed her this, and she actually went through it. She got quite far into it, and I said to do yourself a favor, when you get back, they're dear friends of mine, they could dearly use your support, do yourself a favor and get a copy, because it's, to me, one of the best examples of how we can understand our reality and reconcile everything that is in our limited understandings we have here as human beings in this flesh 3D body. So yeah, so it's not just been, it's been passed. I've been recommended this to a few people, and I'm so thrilled that you guys are actually doing shows, going through the material with people, because it's so important. It is not enough people who do shows going through their own books and discussing the material at length, because it is not complicated, and the information with Alf never changes. The basics are always the same. And having listened, having interviewed you, having listened to your material through Lisa, having listened to shows and various shows you've done thereafter, and reading the book, yes, it is repetitive, but one thing about your information, it's consistent. It's the thread of truth and consistency. It never changes, and it is by far the most consistent information I've come across in terms of it's not an evolving thing. It is an absolute truth. It's not evolving in versions.
The thing about Alf that caught my attention when I met him initially was how I had been, all these pieces out there you get in spirituality, and some of them conflict, but he brought all those pieces together. That's what I always say. I feel like I'm repetitive, but it's one coherent picture that answers and clears up so much misunderstanding out there, across the board.
Let me just address that. I'm big on the Bible, on the esoteric Bible, the one that most people can't read, okay? And, God, it's funny things you're saying have just come up in the last couple of days. I mean, you are so good, and you're straight to the point. But I always quote from the spiritual Bible, okay, which is what we call the 4th level, the mystic or spiritual level, okay, that most people don't yet read at, okay? And one of my students was asking that about the same question. And you say it doesn't evolve or it doesn't change, okay? And no, it can't, okay? Because of where the information comes from, okay? People don't like the word God, okay? But it actually comes from the right hand, Michael, and the left hand, and from Christ, Michael, and what we call Lord Lucifer. And if you go to the Bible, there's one verse that always there's a lot that stand out to me. But God in the first person, YHVH, okay, says, I never change, so you remain the same, okay? Okay? Because creation and creator are one, and we are all in that, in him, in her, whatever you want to call it. I never change, so you remain the same. And when you're saying it never evolves, because it doesn't. It is. God is all there is, okay? It doesn't change. I teach the science, the truth of God. And it can't evolve, it can't change, because it is, right? The plan is, it doesn't change. Okay, we don't make it better, okay, but we disclose everything that I hear, okay, to you. And yeah, the basics are the basics. But yes, it doesn't evolve. God never changes. Everything is one way, okay?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
That what you said.
Yes, and this for me is one of the most unique factors. It's something I've come to realize long after I've obviously first got familiar with your material. Now that I'm reading through it, and also having read through the first version of your book, obviously the fundamental elements which just simply do not change and are so consistent that, like I have rightly said, and I will actually read my little comments at the beginning because it is so absolutely true when I say the difference between Allfaaraa and most other spiritual teachers is that Allfaaraa is uniquely focused on the true nature of spiritual reality, which is why, as I said, it doesn't change, because truth is constant, isn't it? It's always going to be that.
Exactly. Okay, it never changes, okay? It doesn't get better, and it doesn't get worse. It is. Here's the game plan. Here's the story. Here's the path. Here's how it works. Here's how you fit into it. Okay? Here's how God, okay, the creator, some people don't like the word God, okay, New Age people, but God is all there is. Here's the whole plan. Here's how you fit. You do this, this happens. You do that, that happens. Okay, yeah, it never changes. Okay, this world was set up, like we did 9 hours on the original Lisa shows, okay? This world was set up for one purpose, okay? Nothing changes.
I mean, well, let's clarify something though. The pieces change.
Oh, yeah.
In other words, this world, yes, it's evolved.
But
you know what I mean?
The system is what I'm talking about, right?
The background, right? The overall purpose, yeah.
God's system, and this is something that you go on about in the book, is God's system and the game. And this is where I think I want to jump in with actually looking at the individual elements within the book. And that is the overall game of God, okay? And the first thing that you talk about, one of the first things you talk about is that the game of God exists. It's a constant. It's there for specific reasons, and you've elaborated on that. But you also go into the point that we are veiled so that we don't know the rules of the game, because if we knew the rules of the game, we wouldn't play. Now, that's where I'd like for you to elaborate a little bit more and explain that in more detail.
Okay. As I've been posting a lot recently, and boy, Mel, I've got to say, this is 3 in a row for you, okay? We talked about this last night on the show, okay? The same thing, okay? Technically, we are, as humanity, as a soul, you are a slave to the grind, I call it. You are a slave to the game of God, okay? And we have been this over and over and over, incarnating to work off karma that we've gained through our past life. And karma is the same thing as darkness on your books, okay? Because out of darkness comes light, okay? It's the only place it can come from. The darkness is active, light is passive. Light comes through the soul, darkness is created or incurred through the flesh body by the ego, okay? But you are a slave to the system. If you actually, in the Bible, in the Nag Hammadi, and any of the esoteric pseudographia apocrypha, they use the term servant, okay? Right? But the word from Greek is actually doulos, okay? And it means slave. So the translators, as they always do, okay, change the words to fit their understanding and actually, bring it to a more maybe Christianized understanding. But technically, it says you are a slave to God. You are doulos. Doulos means slave. It does not mean servant, okay? And we are all slaves to the grind. And nobody likes hearing this. But you are a slave to the system, okay? And the system is overcoming darkness to become, okay? Right? You become by overcoming.
Okay.
Okay, I took care of that. Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
It happened last night with the phone too. But the systems, you are a slave to the system, okay? Incurring darkness to grow your light, okay? Light doesn't grow on its own.
No.
You need polarities, just like an electrical system, just like a battery. You know, just like male, female. You know, imagine all the action in the world just from male and female. If we were all one sex, it'd be boring.
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Right. Well,
but we've all been all sexes. Okay.
Right.
You know, those of us have incarnated. I mean, even if you know nothing of your past lives, okay, you do know that we all have female and male tendencies inside of us, okay, right? And, you know, I've talked about this before. We have a lot of people, you consider them, what society would label them as gay people, okay, right? But they're not gay. You have right now, again, I've talked about this before, all of the heavy hitters, all of the most powerful souls on the planet, okay, are in female bodies at this time, okay, right? And you can argue with me all you want, okay, but go to any spiritual seminar, any spiritual group, any spiritual get-together, and let me tell you what, it's 80% women, okay, right? The women, the female has the power in this incarnation. And we have a lot of girls, okay, that know, man, I'm male inside, I can tell you. And I said, of course you have been. Okay, you've incarnated predominantly as a male. But God, in his wisdom, okay, at this time, okay, has placed the most powerful, the best of the best, call it, into female bodies. Just like you, Mel, okay? You know some of your past lives.
Yep.
I'm sure you know that you've been predominantly male in many
Definitely.
incarnations. Right?
Yep.
No question. A big, tough badass. Hopefully you won't leave my badass on the phone. Okay, but yeah, all of the power. And especially, you know, New Age isn't so bad with that one, but, you know, the Christian religious community, you know, still have this thing about women being submissive. And so when I tell them, oh, no, it can't be. I said, okay, dude, whatever. You tell me how many times you get away with telling your wife no, and we actually know who wears the pants in the family. Can you be that honest? Well, maybe you got a point there. I said, okay, that's the first step in the right direction, okay? But the female form is the form of power at this time in the world, okay? And indeed. Okay? And then everybody asked me, well then, Alf, why are you in the male form? I said, don't ask me that, okay? But I am, right? I said, wow, if I was female, it would be a whole lot easier, trust me. I'd have all those assets and that smile, and boy, it would be so much easier if I was in the female form, right? Instead of some old guy with blonde, spiky hair.
oh, brilliant. Now tell me, what has the reaction been to the book in general?
The reviews have been awesome. I mean, I don't know if we have a bad review yet from anybody, even regular people that aren't into spirituality and stuff.
That's fantastic.
We just need more of them.
Yeah, let me say this, okay? We'll talk about the reviews for the moment. Everyone who's read it, okay, has loved it. We've got great reviews. I mean, we have some on Amazon, and those that have reviewed it. You know, it's one thing to read a book. It's another thing to go out there and write a review, okay? Not everybody wants to do that, okay? Fine, we understand that. But the reviews we've gotten, I mean, incredible reviews. It's almost like we wrote them ourselves or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not even non-written reviews. I mean,
I'm talking about the written ones.
I mean, I even handed it to a golf buddy of mine who keeps calling me about it, going, "Man, this makes tons of sense, and you really wrote it well." And I mean, he's not even, you know, he's kind of half into this stuff, but yeah, right. I mean, the reviews have been good.
About who likes the book, but the reviews have been excellent. I haven't had a bad one. In fact, they're all, like on Amazon, they're all 5 stars. There's one 4-star because of the repetitiveness. But now that she has understood why it's repetitive, you know, who knows? She may go correct it, she may not. But the reviews are excellent. There's almost like we would have wrote them ourselves. I mean, if I read them, I'd say, is this for real? I mean, people saying it. You know, people are saying like you, it's the greatest spiritual book they've ever written, okay, that they've ever read, okay? And it just all makes so much sense, okay? And Alpha's a great teacher. I mean, it's almost embarrassing the reviews are so good. Then on the other hand, we've heard from people that have not done reviews, but have emailed us. Okay, people that we're not, and this is kind of like the audience we need to be at, okay? Because we're kind of stuck in a quandary. It's a catch-22, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But we've had people with no spirituality, okay, and a little bit in the church, but they eventually dropped out because they knew something was wrong with what the church was teaching them. Shawn had a friend who, when we did her numbers, was a very spiritual, very high up on the charts. And what did that one lady friend of yours write us back, Shawn?
Yeah, that's actually on our website.
She was very Catholic, and I said, oh my God, what are we going to get from her?
Well, yeah, she basically said, you know, like most of us, at least in this country, you're brought up in her case, you know, Catholic and I think Lutheran or something. But she never quite bought it. She was like, I just didn't understand this believed to be saved and stuff like that. But on the other hand, she was definitely not an atheist. She didn't believe nothing was out there, right? But people don't realize, there's a lot of people, I think, that they're not buying the religious story, okay?
What did she say, though, exactly?
But they're also not buying that it's just pure physics and chemistry either. They just don't realize that there's answers out there that can be found, you know?
What did she say? Do you remember what she said? I can't recall.
You mean specifically? I'd almost have to go read it, I think.
Well, here, I can recall more than that.
Go ahead.
No, she basically said, you know, I was brought up in the church, okay? It never gave me the answers. And reading your book, it all fit. It made sense to me, okay? Right? And you would think, I mean,
Let me read it real quick. I got it right here if you want, because it's really good.
Okay, read it.
She says, hi, I just finished the book. Honestly, I don't know where to start. Do you ever feel speechless or at a loss for words to describe your feelings or thoughts? That's kind of where I am right now. I have for a long time struggled with the concept of God. I've never been able to really put my finger on what my struggle is with traditional religion. I couldn't grasp having to accept this separate entity to believe in order to be saved and then be given eternal life. I could never understand why trying to be the best person you could be wasn't enough. And I really could never grasp my energy disappearing when my body dies. I could not put your book down. Not only was it easy to read and easy to grasp, but it just made sense. Finally, something that seemed to make sense. Regardless of what I believe, I will go to a good place because I'm here now growing God. I'm doing good every single second of every single day, and I will go back to a good place because of it. I think I feel like I've been given some sort of control. Not that I have physical control over anything, but knowledge can give you a sense of control. I've never felt that in my spirituality before. Thank you for sending me the book.
Interesting.
So, I mean, and that's just, that's not even someone that's been following our work or anything. That's an old high school friend of mine, you know?
Out of the blue, I was astounded, okay? And that led me to understand really where our audience is, okay? But let me tell you about the writing of the book. As you know, we took it from live teachings, and we did some transcripts, and we put it together, and we made it as a PDF, and we sent it to you, and we sent it to a lot of people, and like you said, oh my, where do I begin, okay? It was a mess, okay? And we spent a whole lot of time, a whole lot longer than we thought we would, didn't we, Shawn?
Oh,
okay?
well, yeah.
I mean,
and it wasn't just us. Yeah, we had 2 other people helping us edit it as well. So a team of 4 working for, a couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
let me tell you how the book came together. Okay, because how the book came together was an amazing story, okay? If anybody doesn't know, I'm really poor. I live in poverty, okay? I teach. That's what I do. And I have to live in poverty. And when my initial meeting, when God, Lucifer, Michael all agreed to do this, okay, about approximately 5 years ago, it was agreed that it would be for free, okay? There would be no payment received, okay, for teaching, okay? That was the deal to get the highest truth. I said, of course. Even when I taught, and I was a New Age teacher in the 80s in California, and I taught everything, and I was a good teacher and had a lot of students. But I would not take money, okay? In the different facilities that I taught at, I let them keep the money. I was paid nothing, okay? Right? And the Creator wants everyone to understand the truth, okay? You shouldn't have to pay for it to get it when it's free and it comes from the highest authority. Well, so it took a year, okay? The whole thing really start to finish, about a year. We thought we'd knock this book off in 3 months, right? When we first came up here and had the lease interviews, we figured 3 months later. No, okay? And Shawn, and everything fell into place, okay? Shawn's never written a book. I've never put one together, okay? It was an enormous, enormous task, okay? And then things start falling into place, okay? Michael, Lucifer, God both told me, I'll supply you all the pieces, okay? It'll be there, okay? And of course there's still doubt, even when you hear it firsthand. But up came one of our students, who herself is a world-renowned author, been on the New York Times best-selling list. She writes children's books, okay? And has many out there. She actually was on Oprah, okay, in a book that she wrote for the Queen of Jordan, okay, a kid's book. And she came along and started helping with the editing. And then one of our own, okay, and great students who we didn't even know, okay, works for a big publisher and does all the layout and the art and the putting everything together on the computer.
We didn't find that out to the last minute when the book was almost done.
We never knew this, okay? And then that's where everything really came together. And then Cyrilio, the great angel Cyrilio, you know, who's like one of my right arms on the show, his cover art, okay? And he did some art for you at one time, didn't he, Mel?
He does great art. He's done a few really nice pieces for me, both both title pieces for my name and for my latest documentary film. He's lovely.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, the cover would have cost us $1,500, and it would have been like, you know, like cover on, you know, a basic book, half green, half yellow, with some printing on it, okay? And then the key, okay, as you understand, we're poor. You know, Shawn has exhausted much of his resources to keep this going on. It couldn't be done without Shawn, okay? And we really didn't have the money to print the books, okay? So what happened, right? I said, okay, so we got the book done, okay? It's perfect. How are we going to, you know, one set it up on Kindle and not Kindle, but on CreateSpace and Lightning Source to get it on Amazon, but we wanted printed books also. Okay, and then out of the blue, okay, someone we only knew because he's related to one of our students, let's say, came out with a huge donation. Okay, I mean, unheard of. Doesn't happen. Okay, enough to print 5,000 books and ship them. Okay, well, we're talking, you know, close to $10,000, right?
Wow.
Out of the blue. I mean, you know, that, tell me somebody's not behind the picture helping us, okay, right? Yeah, it was amazing, okay, it was amazing, okay, the way the whole book came together. But the last thing I wanted to do, okay, because I have a real problem, I have a philosophy, and what I state, and this is one of the reasons that everything is consistent, like you say, okay, it doesn't change. If 1 and 1 makes 2, okay, if any teacher, okay, it doesn't matter who it is, and I'm not calling anyone out, but if step 1, step 2, okay, are wrong, then everything behind that is wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? Okay? Right? Part A connects to part B, C to D to E to F.
Yeah.
It's a logical process where everything makes sense. If one step is wrong in the basics, then everything else behind it is wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Anybody who thinks God isn't all there is, okay, will never get it, okay? So, I went through the book, okay, last, after everybody was editing, Shawn, Ashara, and Kara, right? And I said, let me go through it. I have to go through it, me and God, to make sure that there's not one spiritual error in the book, okay? This was the most important thing to me, that everything that I'm saying is directly from God and directly accurate, okay? And I didn't care about the commas, the periods. That was Shawn's thing, and he did big time, okay? But it had to be perfect, okay? And in so doing, I found there were mistakes, but they could be construed as confusing, okay? Because the way the book goes, there may be a question in chapter 3, but it's answered in chapter 14. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay? I had to make sure that it was perfect before I would put my name on it and say, okay, let's get it. And so I went through it, and I can tell you it is 1,000% spiritually accurate from start to finish. As God has presented to me, I presented it to you. Okay? That was the key. Okay? And it's funny, we're doing shows on the book right now, and we're highlighting the most important important parts. You were there for the first show, right? The important
Yes.
parts in every chapter. And it's funny that people are saying, just highlight the whole book, right? Shawn even said that, right?
Yeah, it's hard to separate out what you shouldn't highlight.
I've been highlighting. I've been definitely been. I've not been drawing lines through. I'm making little markers at the start and end of sentences. I'm been more respectful of it because I just don't want to massacre the book quite just yet.
Right.
Well, we'll get you another copy.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get you another copy. You just say the word. Okay. But, yeah, the people that have gotten the book love it. But the problem that we face is a big one, okay? We have what other people, as well as ourselves, and you, consider a great book. But how do we let them know we have it, okay? I mean, we don't have a traditional publisher. We published ourselves. We are the publisher. And I'm glad we did, okay? Because we can make a little bit of money on the book. For example, our good friend, who is this author I spoke about, Allfaaraa, right? She has a publisher, okay, and an agent. But by the time everything comes down to it, she makes like 85 cents a book after everybody gets paid.
Yeah.
Okay? Right. So, you got to sell a million books to make any money. Well, we make a little bit more money, but we don't have the help, okay, with distribution. We're trying to get it into the bookstores, okay, the metaphysical bookstores, okay? Yes, we're on Amazon. Yes, you can buy it at Barnes & Noble, but they don't carry it on the shelves. You can't go in and actually see it and touch it and feel it. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the hard part, and this is why you're our first interview and probably be our best interview, okay? We have to get out to the people that the book is available. Because if they'll just read it, okay, right, if they'll just read it, I'm sure it will make a difference in their lives, okay? But we have to figure out how to get the book into their hands, okay? But it is a good book, okay? Again, we don't have anybody, not that we've sold 10,000 copies, I'm not even close, but we don't have anybody that has not loved it, okay? I mean, there's even a review on Amazon by a lady I've never heard of, okay? We don't know who she is, where she came from, okay? And our students stretch, from Australia to Amsterdam. We have them all over the world, okay? And if we can just get them to read it, okay? I mean, if you're familiar with the Eckhart Tolle book, okay, that sold millions of copies, okay? It was nothing. His first book was The Power of Now, okay? He didn't sell very many copies, okay? The second book, okay, right, actually wasn't doing well either until a friend of Oprah's, I believe it was in California, read it, liked it, had the connection, called Oprah, and it's all history. He did the live shows and sold 7-8 million copies. And then they went back and bought The Power of Now also. The same thing with Neil Donald Walsh, who wrote Conversations with God, okay? He submitted to publishers for about a year. Finally, he got a small publisher to publish 5,000 copies, okay? Right? And they weren't doing that well. He went to the churches, but somebody liked it. I think it was Penguin or Bantam came in, if you've seen the movie, picked it up, right, cut him a check, and boom, right, 8, 9, 10, 11 million copies later, okay? Those are two industry standards, Conversations with God and, Eckhart Tolle's new book. But they both got the break, okay? Right? So we're looking to get that break too. It just takes the one person. Maybe it's Mel V that can get, 500 people, we'll settle for 20, to buy the book.
Yes.
Because if you just read it, you will understand what's going on, why you're here. Everybody asks the 3 questions, which I have in the beginning of the book. Why am I here? What is my purpose? And where am I going? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I answer them through God's wisdom. Exactly. What you are, why you're here, and where you're going. Okay? And nobody yet has any special purpose until you achieve your first purpose. And the first purpose is to become. Okay? This world is like God's womb. Okay? That's what it is. It gives birth to godly children. Okay? Spirits, angels, you call them whatever you want, Elohim, everybody's got a different name for it. I am presence, divine self, it's all the same thing. This womb is set up to grow the Creator through growing you, the parts of him. Okay? Right? That's why you're here. To become. And the path to become is through overcoming darkness. Okay?
Oh, and by the way, I should mention this. On our website, if someone clicks on the actual book and it takes them to the book page, the first few chapters are given away for free. They can download a PDF. Okay. We've also got another little flyer on there. We've got a bunch of the reviews. Can all be downloaded as PDFs for free. So if anyone wants to preview the beginning of it, the whole preface is in there, and I think the first 3 or 4 chapters, maybe something like that.
Yeah, later on the show we'll talk about buying the book, what it costs, where you can get it. But listen, we are so convinced, okay, and I think you are too.
Yeah, for sure.
That if you read it, you'll understand it and it will help you. I'm so convinced that, hey, you know what, if you don't have the money, the book's $15, okay, you send us an email, we'll send you a book, okay, right? If you don't like it, throw it in the trash. If you like it, one day if you get to $15, you send it to us. We're that convinced, okay? I will send you one of our books. Shawn will send you one of our books if you can't afford it, okay? We're that serious.
Now, guys, can I just say, just before that, you were saying, Alf, about the 3 questions, you know, who we are, where we're going, what are we doing here? And also, I don't know if you've ever, I know you did read bits of my book when I first sent it to you a couple of years back, but one of the things that I found most significant was that when I wrote my book, I asked the same questions in the beginning, and I said, my journey to understand the world began with my search to know and understand God. And that is the very start in the intro of my book. And it's funny because having been down this whole journey and met all these people and trying to deconfuse myself from this level of reality by looking at all this information from all these different people, you know, I've come to this point where I have now read so much, seen so much, and I interviewed Jordan Maxwell about a month ago, and you know, after the interview, I turned to my husband and I was like, you know, I didn't learn anything new from this interview, and I'm kind of don't know, you know, where do you turn when the grades can't teach you? And I came onto your radio show and I said this is ultimately what I have been looking for as a searcher on a journey. It is all here, and having this now, and now understanding the rules of the game, it's given me a distinct advantage for the work that I'm doing, because what it helps me is to look at the darkness that I have to face, because not everybody can look at the information that I've got to look at, yeah, and then have to process it and put it out there, you know, to have to look at this stuff, but also to understand its place and its purpose and not to be consumed by it.
Yeah, it gets you past some of the fear and some of the anger and some of the frustration and the why the heck does this happen, and you can sort of step back from it a little bit.
Humanity asks, okay, is why do bad things happen? Oh no, if you think thoughts of good news is love and light, it won't happen to you. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, right? Yes, it does. Why is there evil? Why is there darkness? Okay. Right? I'm a good person. Why do bad things happen to me? What's the old saying? Oh, well, bad things happen to good people. Okay?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Okay? But the most important thing where you have to start, just as you said, okay, sooner or later, okay, right, the darkness will turn you to a higher source. Okay? And understanding what God is the most critical thing. You know, the New Age community, they hate when I say the word God. Okay, and let me mention Michael Monk yesterday made a post, and it was something about God, okay? Not like we say God's all there is, but something a little close. In some way, he said, oh, if you say so, right? He was offended, definitely a New Age background, about him using the word God, okay? But it's understanding people what God is, okay? And that's what we explain in the book. You have to understand what God is and what God is not. Yeah. I am going to let Shawn explain what God is, but first let me tell you what God is not, okay? God is not what those of the religious societies teach. There is no guy up there sitting on a throne with a beard and a crown, okay? The Creator God, Father, okay, right, Creator, okay, a guy with a beard sitting on a throne and with a crown on his head. Okay, but this is what Christianity and organized religion teaches. Okay, and this is why science has such a problem with religion. Okay, right? Because religion insists there's a guy with a beard and a crown sitting on a throne. Okay, and science says you're out of your mind. But science and the Bible fit what I teach, what we really do, and what your real purpose is. And that's at the end of the book. Have you gotten through the book to the end yet, Mel?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Okay. And it's enormous. And science agrees with what I teach. Okay? And I teach stuff out of the Bible. I don't use the Bible to teach. First they taught me, then they verified what they taught me through the Bible, through the Nag Hammadi, through the Apocrypha, through the Dead Sea Scrolls, through some of the Urantia book, all the divinely inspired stuff. Nothing written by man. Okay, I don't read anything written by man. Never have. Okay? But Shawn, please explain in your clear, perfect wisdom, okay, what God is.
I will.
Okay, He's not.
I just wanted to say real quick about science. Science is actually one of the ways that we learn things about the world. So, I mean, it's not something to be either fully accepted or rejected. I just said something the other day about, I argue with atheists. Sometimes it's something on Facebook. But spirituality is not just about, religion or soul or spirit or whatever. It's really just a search for what's true. So it's funny how, you said earlier, Mel, that you were looking for what's true, and that's how you got into what you're doing now, searching out the powers that be and all kinds of the evil stuff that they're doing in the world and everything. It's really a search for what's true, and so science is one of those things we come across, as well as all the other spiritual stuff. So it can't. What's true has to agree with science to some extent, right?
Well, just so true. But science lines up with what God teaches me directly.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It all fits.
Right.
Okay, right? And I find what I teach, I see scientists, sometimes I'll search some of the shows on my 900 stations, so I do have good TV, I do have that. And I'll see the Science Channel or this one or that one, and I'll turn it on and I'll listen to some guy agree with me. That Japanese guy with the long hair who's pretty out there all the time. He agrees with most of my statements. Matter is energy waiting to become. Energy is spirit that has become. Okay? He agrees with the first part. He just doesn't understand the second part. I show him how they fit. But Shawn, tell us clearly what God is, because everybody's search has to start there, just like Mel said.
I will.
Please.
God. Well, we use the term God in three different ways, but in the biggest sense, meaning all of everything that is. Okay.
Creator.
Yeah, the Creator is everything, absolutely everything. Nothing can exist outside of that. I mean, I don't know how many people that don't have a direct experience of that ever grasp the fact that nothing can be outside of whatever God is. There's no such thing as God is here and there's an evil thing like the devil over there or something. It's all got to be inside whatever God is reality, right? I mean, how can if something was separate, then there'd have to be a bigger God to envelop both of those. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everything has to be within whatever you call God. If by God you mean everything, the highest of everything.
Well, we have a saying. We have a saying that we teach, and our students echo it, and that is what?
God is all there is. God is all there is. Yeah.
And let me say something that will lead you into the next part, Shawn. Creator and creation are all one. We live and exist in it. Do you understand? There is nothing that God is not. Okay, the sky, the air, the clouds, the ground, the trees, all that you can see, all of the universe or mass universes, all of the stars, everything encompasses his body. The dog poop that's in my yard I need to clean up is all made of God stuff. Our bodies and the bodies of the stars and the planets are all made of the same compounds. They have to be because they all come from one place. Do you understand that? Everything is consistent. And Shawn has a great line, okay? It's not a line, it's the truth. Okay? Give us that little thing about creating within oneself and all that.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Because that...
Yeah, I used to say this years ago, I think even before I met you. There's only one place the Creator can create and only one substance he can use. He has to create within himself, and he has to use himself as the substance. There is nothing else in existence. I mean,
do you understand the immensity of that, Mel?
Yes, yes.
And you see the truth in it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no other reality separate from this one.
There is nothing else to create of. We all have, okay, are made of the same stuff, okay, and that's why.
And that's scientific too.
Yeah,
all energy, all the same stuff.
Okay, we're all stardust and carbon, okay, and so are the planets, so are the stars, and so is everything else. But that's why when I hear these people say, "Oh no, we're creator gods and we stand alone, we're sovereign," no, you're not, okay, right? You're on borrowed material that you got from somewhere else. If creation were to cease, okay, so would you. You're not standalone. You live within creation, okay, right? And the Bible looks at it, and so does the Creator, okay? One body, many parts, right? Hands, fingers, feet, nose, eyes, teeth, okay? One body, okay? It's like the oneness gurus, okay? Oh, we're all one. No, you're not yet one, okay? You're here to become part of the one, okay? Right? And this world is set up to grow God, the Creator, or to grow creation through growing yourself. They go hand in hand. The Creator and creation is the sum of all its parts. Every single part. From the dirt on the ground to your kneecap, okay? And the Creator places himself within himself, that's your body, to grow himself, okay? You are himself. Creator and creation are one and the same. But what Shawn says is brilliant. He creates out of the only thing he has to create with. Himself. Right, Shawn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
So, the first understanding you have to have is God is all there is. Okay? And as a New Ager spiritualist who've heard all this malarkey over the years, okay? Right? Oh, no, God. No. Everything. The reptilians, the Andromedans, the Pleiadians, the bad aliens that people teach, the good aliens, all of them are inside the same creation that we are, okay? Right? Oh, no, they don't answer to God. Well, of course they do, okay? You just don't understand what God is, okay? Right? But then you have God of this universe, this realm, which is Michael or Christ, okay? Right? This is his universe. This is the one he rules, okay? And we are all subservient under him, okay? So understanding God, as you said, Bill, is critical to understanding the whole picture, okay? It's not some guy up there on a throne with a beard saying, you go to heaven, oh, you were bad, you go to hell. No such thing.
Yeah, and we start there in the book. Well, we start first with the preface, which basically says, hey, realize how tricky your mind is. Realize how tough it is to get at the truth. And then we go into, God is all there is. I mean, if you don't understand that, that's you have to. It's one of the first things you have to start with.
Interesting. Okay. You know what, guys? I don't want to make this too long because there's just a book review interview. I wanted to ask you guys to finish up if there's anything specifically you wanted to mention with regards to it.
Okay. Yeah, there are a few things. The hardest thing we're finding right now, Mel, okay, is, and we knew this, we're caught in between religion, okay, which you got 2-3 billion people following,
yes.
Okay, Christianity, Judaism, the Quran, right, and New Age,
yes.
Okay, and each of them has their beliefs, and each of them are so embedded in the person, okay, that they're hard to break, okay.
Yeah.
Our biggest thing in the book is that your mind is not your own, okay, which we teach. Okay, you think through a larger consciousness, okay? And this is very, very hard for people to understand because you assume your mind is your own, but it isn't, okay? But New Agers, okay, the so-called spiritual people, have such an ingrained teaching of most of it ridiculous nonsense, okay, that when they see something new, okay, it's very hard for them, okay? I mean, so many believe, okay, they have some special mission, some special purpose. You have the ET people, okay? You have ingrained New Age on people that are as much brainwashed as the religious people are, okay? Ours is kind of the middle ground.
Well, sorry to interrupt. We had a call from a lady, a regressionist, one of the first people to contact us after the Lisa shows, and she said, oh my God, your info is what's been coming through my clients. she said, and I can't get anybody to listen to it because the Christians don't want to hear about reincarnation, and the New Agers don't want to hear about biblical stuff. They don't want to know that there's anything real in the Bible, right? Or the word God.
Or God. Okay. So that's the hard part, okay? And like I tell all the students, before you can come and learn the truth of God, okay, you almost have to forget anything you knew, okay? And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so Readable calls it a spiritual pizza.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, you have to understand where humanity's information comes from. Their spiritual information comes from everything they've read, every website they've surfed, okay? It's like a pizza. They put the toppings on they like. Your ego, your mind picks and chooses, oh, I like spirit guides. Oh, I don't like demons. Oh, I like light fairies. Oh, I don't like bad things happening.
I like soulmates.
I love soulmates. You know, you're your own soulmate. Okay? Stop looking outside of yourself. You're your own soulmate, people. Okay? But that's the hardest thing, is trying to find the niche. But I can tell you, everybody who's read it has loved it. Okay? Some of the things we're doing. Okay? Now, we have it where you can buy it in two places right now. You can buy it on Amazon. Okay? And the book sells for $15. There is, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute, Shawn.
Oh, and hey, wait, no. I wanted to give them one of the big perks of reading the book.
What is that?
There's no okays in it.
Oh, yeah. There are no okays in the book.
We've removed the okays.
Not one. Okay. Okay. Oh, I just said okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. You can buy it on the website, and we have a special promotion if you want to buy it on the website. Okay. We'll ship it out to you. Okay. But the book sells for $15. But something we're trying to do is to get more people to read it. And seriously, people, if you buy the book, and you honestly, Shawn will think I'm opening a can of worms, but I don't care. If you honestly can tell us that you got nothing out of it, I'll give you back your money, and you don't even need to send me the book back. Okay? Give it to somebody else. But what we're doing, we're starting a big promotion, and we're just talking, this is the first time we've mentioned it. We've just reduced the price on Kindle, okay, to $2.99, okay?
Wow.
So you can go to Amazon, you can get it. Now, you don't have to have a Kindle to read it, right, Shawn?
No, you can read them on an iPad or even on a PC. There's downloadable programs, yeah.
You can download it, okay, from Amazon for $2.99 and read it on your computer, okay? And then you can come along with us in the weekly classes we have about the book. Okay, so we've made it, we've dropped it for the next 30 days or 60 days to $2.99, okay? We want you to have it. We're not trying to hawk books and get rich. Believe me, we're way in the hole. If we sell all these 5,000 books, we may make a profit, okay? But we do this to teach, okay? And that's how you can get it. You can get it at Allfaaraa.com, RaiseThePlanet.com, Amazon.com, Amazon UK, Amazon out of Australia.
Oh, and the name of the book hasn't even been mentioned yet in the show, has it? The Keys to Ascension.
Right.
The Keys to Ascension.
Karma, free will, and reincarnation. Without a doubt, and you know, guys, I do read a lot of stuff. I really do. This is without a doubt one of the best books I have read in a very long time. But like, I'd like to say it's the best book I've read ever. It probably is. In terms of, I think, the absolute purity of the information, the absolute necessity for this book to be out, and the timing with which it's been brought out. And I really do hope that it, you know, remove the ego from it, remove the money aspect. I hope you guys sell many copies, because this book deserves to be read by many people. I tell you, if people get a better understanding of how the world works and deconfuse themselves, there will be a lot less people on blooming Prozac and sleeping tablets, because I think a lot of people don't really know how the world works, and that's why they're just so frustrated, confused, and angry all the time. Right, when it gets laid out to you, and you go, okay, right, okay, well, you know, this is why I went through that, and you know, and through all the darkness, what I must learn to do is, you know, find the light. And it really is a handbook to, as you say, decoding God's game and living a life where you can make the choices more consciously.
Exactly, making conscious choices, okay? But basically, it explains to you, the individual, why you are going through darkness, okay? what happens. Understand this, people. If you're going and experiencing darkness and bad things are happening to you, okay, understand you're growing spiritually, okay? You are growing spiritually through every obstacle you overcome. And then here's the key, and let me say this, okay, what a lot of people don't seem to understand, okay? You create you. There's nobody else, no Anunnaki, no ETs come and manipulate your genes. You create you by overcoming the darkness that you've created. If you really honestly look at your life, okay, you create the darkness for you to overcome by bringing light to that darkness, okay? Nobody is responsible for you and what you are spiritually but you, okay? And when this book was written, we had 30, I don't know, maybe 40 people that all asked their most important question about the game, about karma, about free will. And we answered. So we weren't just writing these. We took questions from the students, which will be the same questions that you will ask, and answered them, okay? And I just hope you will buy the book. And if you do buy the book, anybody, all you got to say is, hey, I bought it because Mel said so. Hey, you know what? If you don't like it, we'll send you back your money. Sorry, Shawn, I got to do it.
Shawn sits biting his nails.
You don't even have to give me a reason. How's that?
Oh, we at least need a reason.
No, just tell me you've got nothing out of it, okay?
Okay.
Just tell me that, okay?
I want to add real quick, you know, we explain that the system in this world is automatic, and that even the atheists are serving. It doesn't matter what you believe. If you're in a body, you're serving God and yourself and the system. And that's why you're here, and you chose to be here for that. And some people might ask, well, if the system's automatic and it doesn't matter what I know or what I believe, why should I read this? Why should I learn anything? Because if you want to be a conscious player of the game instead of an unconscious player of the game, you need to know what the game's about. You need to know that you're playing a game in the first place, and that it has rules, and that those rules affect you, and that even though you can't make a wrong choice, those choices do have consequences for you. And so, you know, become a conscious player of the game instead of someone who doesn't know.
Down to my mantra, which is the understanding of your soul's purpose will determine your contribution of light, okay? And that's what you're here to do, to contribute light to the Creator, okay? And it's your light, okay? And you're measured by the light. A game plan, an understanding, okay? A job description, okay, is what I've given you. The job description to play God's game that you don't even know you're caught up into, okay? And by understanding it, the rules of the game, which nobody has told you, okay, you can win the game. You can actually play the game without pain, okay? That's what we're teaching. Play the game of life without the pain, without the drama, and without the negativity that each of us goes through. Understand where it comes from. You create it, okay?
Can I just say the last thing, how on a personal level that this is so valuable to people, because understanding the darkness is almost, you know, those people who have facilitated darkness within your life, this is your chance to turn around and go, you know what, you have served me, forgive them and thank them. Don't hold it against them.
Exactly. They've done you a great favor, okay? They have grown you, okay? All of these people that are your nemesis, that you think are against you, okay? They've made you a great light, okay? But you have to see what this book brings, and what I bring from the teachings from Lucifer is the other side of the story, which you well know, Mel. We've had discussions,
yep.
Okay? New Age and all you people, you've been given one side of the story, right? Light. It doesn't work. You've been misled, okay? And now you don't want to hear about the darkness. But you need to, because you go through it every day. Darkness governs your output of light. The more darkness you overcome, the greater light you become, okay? You all want to be these great lights, okay? The only only path is through darkness. Okay, read the book, it explains it. And if you have questions, you can email us them, you can call us on the phone, you can even join the students on the website and ask your questions, and we'll answer every one of them. I promise you, I'll answer any one of your questions.
Brilliant. Shawn, before we go, anything you want to say?
No. I think it was a good talk.
Yes, it was. Guys, you know what? I love you both so much, and thank you for this amazing and absolutely momentous work. I will absolutely be doing everything to make sure that I get this in front of as many people as I can, because without a doubt, this is... it's hugely moving for me, and I say this to you, like, very honestly, from a personal level. There's a lot of forgiveness in my life that has to be given, and this book has really been the sort of final push in that direction. So thank you very much to both of you for giving me that gift. And Elves, thanks for, I know you're struggling, and thank you so much for sending this all the way from the States. I really appreciate it, and you know, I hope to actually eventually meet you guys in person someday soon.
Yeah, we hope so too. We'd like to come down.
We sell enough books. That's one of my stops. First ones.
Fantastic.
Right there. Amsterdam.
Oh, I can't wait. We'll have loads of fun.
That would be awesome.
Thank you, Mel, so much.
Oh, thank you guys. Wonderful to speak to you both. And you know what? Let's do it again more soon. I really miss having chats with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. This has been great.
Absolutely.
Great, Mel.
You too, guys. Love you both.
Thanks, Mel. Thank
Cheers
you.
then. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.